This video is all about the Kybalion. What is the Kybalion? It is an ancient book about Hermeticism. What is Hermeticism? Why should you care? Well, Hermeticism is an ancient esoteric philosophy that can transform your life. You probably never heard of it in the terms of Hermeticism, but you probably heard of the law of attraction. And where does the law of attraction come from? Hermeticism. But most people have never heard of Hermeticism. They've heard of New Age things like the law of attraction, but never Hermeticism. So, in this video, I'm going to break down why it's so important and what the 7 laws are. All right, let's get into it. So, what is the Kybalion? The Kybalion is an ancient book about Hermeticism, and it breaks down why Hermeticism is so powerful and how you can use the rules or the laws of Hermeticism in your own life. So let's get into it. The Kybalion was written, I think, around the start of the 20th century, and essentially, I could be wrong about that. I'm pretty sure it's the start of the 20th century. But essentially, it summarizes Hermeticism, which is a philosophy, really old philosophy, that basically has a set of rules that you can live by that will improve your life. So a lot of these rules are linked to important things like cause and effect, right? And I was going to make videos about, let's say, like self-sabotage and common mindset problems. But I thought, why not get to the root of the problem? The root, essentially like code for the universe. And really, that comes down to Hermeticism and 7 rules that if you follow or if you learn about them, will transform your life. So, and you can see these rules kind of reflected in different religions. So, for example, one of the laws is cause and effect. And, not cause and effect, the law of correspondence, right? So the law of correspondence means the world is like a mirror to you. So the way you are is reflected in the world. And we see this in the Bible as well. So the Bible talks about do unto others as you would have others do unto you, meaning, treat people the way you want to be treated, and you'll get that reflected back to you. So this is very powerful stuff. It's really everywhere in the universe. So there are 7 laws. We don't have time in this video to go through all of them. But let's look at the main law, which is mentalism. So mentalism really says that everything is created in our mind. And this is super powerful because this is why we do visualization, why we control our thinking, why we do anything like that. So if you're struggling at all, with negative outcomes in your life, just think about what you are visualizing. So think about what you see in your mind. So let's say like this is you and this is your mind. So whatever you visualize in here comes into reality in the form of reality, right? Whatever you have, goals you've created, you've seen them first in your mind. And the thing people don't understand is when you're worrying, you're creating the same thing. You're creating negative outcomes in your mind. So mentalism is super, super powerful. If you just assume or believe in the concept of mentalism, which basically means that whatever we picture becomes our reality. then you understand that you are generating your reality through what you picture. So always picture your goals, always visualize them daily, and that will come true. So another powerful law that I want to touch on today is the law of correspondence. Okay, so correspondence meaning like the world is like a mirror and it's reflecting you. Let's say this is the mirror. You are being reflected in the world by what you think inside. How you see the world, how you see yourself is creating a mirror image in the world. So why this is so powerful is because we can become who we want to become internally, and then that will be reflected in the world. So this is why you hear these cliches like fake it until you make it, because that is the process. You need to become who you want to become internally until it solidifies, the reflection solidifies in the world. And you need to visualize it every day. So that is why essentially, like, if you are, let's say you have a goal, right? And you want to become somebody who makes a lot more money. But internally, you still see yourself as the kind of person who only makes this much money, only has this much money in their bank account. So when you take action, it's going to reflect that. You're going to reflect the internal. So this is why you reprogram your internal, so that as you take action, it makes sense. And also, the current action you take, like your current behavior feels wrong. It feels wrong to make the money you make. And you force a change in yourself. So those are two laws of the laws. We don't have time to go through all of them. But the Kybalion is an incredible book. And I recommend everybody read it. Everybody watching my channel, check it out. And, really dive into these laws, because I tell you what, at first, they don't seem very special. But as with all esoteric and religious texts, the more you think about them and the more you study them, the deeper the meaning you understand. And also, the more you see it reflected everywhere. It's really interesting the way that happens. At first you kind of think, oh yeah, I kind of get that concept. But then after a while, it's like a code you can see everywhere. Always reminds me of that scene in The Matrix with Neo. When in the first movie, he becomes the one, and he becomes enlightened, essentially. And suddenly he can see the code everywhere, and he has the ability to totally control his reality. It's kind of similar to that. The more you see it, the more you understand. You can manipulate your reality through following these laws and acting in alignment with them. And it gives you that massive ability. So, guys, I hope you found this video valuable. If you did, give the video a like, give the channel a subscribe if you are interested in more videos like this, and also leave a comment. Tell me what you would like to hear about, any topics you'd like me to cover, any specific troubles you're having with mindset, or just some interesting books or esoteric topics that you'd like to cover. All right, guys, have a great day. See you next time. Bye.